I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Can anyone please confirm?
Yeah, Tanveer, visible. Hello, Tanveer, it's visible.
Okay. So now today we have planned for firewall rules, then Apache, and then the DSCP. Okay. There will be one SCP, DNS, and DSCP. So these are the three things we are going to cover today. Okay. So let us start with the first. That is our Linux, firewall rules. How we can configure firewall rules that we are going to see here in this. Now let us start from this how to check how many zones are there. Instead of this, I will open second one. Okay, first. So do you have any question from previous session?
So yesterday you had took another machine, right? Like in Oracle VirtualBox, you had added another one Linux machine, right? So that is Linux 2.
Hmm.
So can I connect this machine to like EC2 or like Red Hat? I'll take the AMI there.
Hmm.
Will that be working?
So why you need to create one instance there? What is the objective?
No, sir. I just want to try it over whether I can connect with the cloud instance or not.
This machine
Like
with cloud.
huh.
So that machine you can use as a server. This one you can use as a client. But this
Okay.
machine will not be accessible from outside.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Means in the cloud when you create that machine have the public IP
Yes,
and
sir.
you should have the internet connection here. So for that you have to select NAT and obtain IP automatically. Then from
Mm-hmm.
here you can take SSH of that machine.
Okay.
You can transfer the file and all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But this machine you cannot access. But because this machine don't have a dedicated public IP address.
Okay, sir.
It is a NATed public IP that is like a shared public IP. Now, first command is firewall minus CMD hyphen hyphen get minus zones. Why we use this command? to know how many zones are already created on this Linux machine. So here you will see we have the block, drop, DMZ, external, home, internal. So these all are the zones created here. I want to know which one is the default zone available here. Yesterday we have seen, but through the command line. So get zones, and to check the default zone, you have to use zone, not zones. Okay. So like this, we can see this. After this, if you want to see what are the rules, what are the port, what are the protocols allowed through this firewall, then you have to use command firewall minus cmd hyphen hyphen list minus all. So here you can see it is in public zone, the default zone, active, and interface enp0s3 is the interface name. Services which is allowed, that is cockpit, DHCP version 6 client, and SSH. Okay. If you want to know for a specific zone that what are the zones allowed in, sorry, what are the rules allowed in block zone? You see, no services are allowed. Okay. Then to check the status of firewall service, whether it is running or not, systemctl status firewall D. Here you can see it is active and running. Similarly, if you want to stop the service, why we need to stop the firewall service? Sometime when something is getting blocked and we want to make sure it is not because of firewall, then we will stop it and we will see whether it is working. If it is working, means firewall is blocking, we have to allow through the firewall. Okay. And if still there is a problem, means it is not blocked by the firewall. Okay. The firewall service is now dead. Okay. Okay. Similarly, if you want to permanently disable the firewall, disable command, okay, and this is to start and permanently enable. Now, there is one thing called permanent and temporary. Permanent temporary means whatever rules we are allowing, that is temporary or permanent. Temporary means till the system is running, it will work. Once it is rebooted, that will get removed. So if we add any rule permanently or remove any rule permanently, when the system reboots, accordingly it will act. So whenever we are allowing anything permanently, then we have to reload the firewall to take effect immediately. Okay. So suppose here you have seen by default this service firewall is, sorry, service SSH is allowed. Okay. IP address is also the command using which you can check the IP address. So here we can see the IP address is set to 192.168.180.12. So I'm going to access it through putty or command prompt 180.12. Okay. Now here, if you see, we are able to access it through SSH. Or if you use command prompt also, okay. Now, so this is if SSH is allowed through firewall, we have seen we are able to access. Now we are going to see how to remove any service from firewall. For that, we are going to use firewall minus cmd hyphen hyphen remove minus service equal to SSH. You see the list. Now SSH is not here. When SSH is not here and we are trying to access the same, you see connection diffused. See, but if we allow, so how to add any service or allow any service? Add minus service. SSH. Now when we try, after allowing the SSH, you see, it's working. Okay. So it proves that if services are allowed through firewall, then only we can access any service. If not, then we will not be able to. So there are a lot of services we can allow. To allow permanently, after that, just we have to add hyphen hyphen permanent. To remove also the same hyphen hyphen permanent. You want to see the services listed permanently or running, both we can check here. If there is any protocol or port number of any service you want to allow through firewall, we have add port instead of service. Give the port number, whether it is a TCP or UDP service. Accordingly, we can add permanently. If you want permanent, then add permanent word, else not required. And we can list the ports which are allowed. See, no ports are allowed. Okay. Plus, there is a one thing called rich rule. If you want to add rich rules, so permanent we can add in last also and before also. Add rich rule IPv4. What will be the source IP and what are the things we are going to allow, accept or reject. Like that we can set. So I want to allow SSH only from this IP. So I've done. When you want to remove the rule, instead of add, you have to use the remove. Okay. So like this you can see. See. So I hope these things are clear related to the firewall. Any questions? Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now moving to the next. Okay. The next we have planned today, that was Apache web server. So Apache is what? It is a web server. So if you want to configure Linux as a web server, then we use Apache web service. So how to configure this Apache web service? So for Apache web server, first we have to configure yum, or for not only for Apache, for any of the services, because a lot of packages need to install. So that's why yum is will be very helpful. So I'm going to configure yum first. For that, I will attach this CD DVD. So unmount device SR0 mkdir rhel mount SR0. Sorry. We have to mount on MNT and copy in RHEL. MNT CP minus RF slash MNT slash asterisk inside RHEL. Still copy. So meanwhile it is copying, instead of waiting, we can open a new tab on this terminal and we can configure that file. etc yum.repos.d slash yum.repo. In the insert mode, app stream, name equal to app stream, base URL slash gpg check equal to 0, enable equal to 1. It is copying. Let us wait for it to complete. So steps are not very tough. Only this yum configuration we have to wait. After that, things will be very easier. See, we have to install HTTP service, enable the service, allow through the firewall, and either copy or create one HTML document, and then we can access it. It is copying till now. It is copying app stream. After that, it will copy base OS. So now you see only 5.6 GB is copied. Total is 11 GB. So meanwhile, I will do one more thing. Earlier, have I shared you the interview questions?
Yes, sir, you have shared.
Resume also, na? Both the things are shared.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 7 p.m. Okay, then let's wait for it to complete. Then we'll start configuring Apache. Then we'll see NFS also.
So I had a simple query, sir. In
Hmm.
interview, whether they are going to ask us to execute the commands or hands-on experience they are going to ask her or different types.
No, they are not going to ask.
Hmm.
But maybe if, related to some common commands, they will just cross check whether you have practical knowledge or not.
Okay.
Most of the questions will be from the same, which I have shared.
Yes, sir. You have shared, sir.
Mhm. Like this, also we can know how much progress is there. So now it's done. To verify yum is installed or not, yum repo list. Okay, it's configured. Now we'll start the steps. Yum install http asterisk minus y. You will see there will be almost 29 or 30 packages. So here with the help of yum, it is very easier to install. See 28 packages. So using RPM, it is very tough to install these packages one by one. Okay, so now it is installed. Next, we have to permanently start the service systemctl httpd. Similarly, we have to start also. Then to check the status, here the service is running. Now we have to allow it through firewall cmd hyphen hyphen add minus service equal to http. In firewall, the name is http. In services, the name is httpd hyphen permanent. So I've added permanently, and once it is added permanently, then to make it effective immediately, we need to reload the firewall service. Vi var www html, then index.html. Okay, so index.html is the HTML file or the web page. If you already have, then you can copy in the HTML folder, where www.html folder, else you can create it. So I'm going to create it here. That's it. So we know the IP address is 180.12. So we will access it from here. http://192.168.180.12. Here you see we are able to access. Similarly, you try from another Linux machine or the same Linux machine also, yes, you will be able to access. See. So now it's logged in. We have to go in activities. Firewall. Sorry, Firefox. It is taking time. Okay, so it is going to open. Meanwhile, let me show you the configuration file, how it looks. Configuration file for HTTP is vi etc httpd httpd dot conf. Sorry, httpd conf, then httpd.conf. So this is the path. Okay, so you have to go here, and here when you scroll down, so these all are commented. So here you can see the server root, means the configuration is in etc httpd folder, and here listen port number 80 means only http is allowed, and similarly the user Apache and group Apache is created once we are going to install this service. And when you scroll down, another configuration you can see directory. Okay, and after this, document root, where the document will be kept, where www.html. Then you will see the directory index. Okay, so index, here it will be written which file will be given when it's requested. You see, set the file that Apache will serve if a directory is requested. So here it is defined index.html. If we are copying any with any other name, then we have to modify it. Okay. Then error log page, warnings and all, log format, when it is accessed, how will be the logs format. So these all things can be defined here. So here http 192.168.180.12. It is a bit slow, so that's why it takes time. http colon double slash dot 168 dot 12. You can see it's open. So this is how we can configure Apache web service. So after this, the next we have DSCP. So for DSCP, theories are more, so it will take more time. Let me check if another small topics are there which I can cover. So we have completed this. I have shared interview questions and resume preparation. So now it remains DSCP, NFS, and Samba. But all these topics are a bit long. So for NFS, we can try. We'll stretch a little bit. So let's start with the NFS. So what exactly is a NFS? NFS is a file sharing service. Okay. When we have to share files between Linux to Linux, then we use NFS. Okay. See what are the things we need to configure in NFS. Okay. So this is the server which we are going to configure. For any type of service, always keep in mind we need to configure yum before, so that things can be done easily. So we have to install yum install nfs star -y. Okay, so it will install nfs service. nfs is installed. Then the next we have to install is rpc bind. Generally it will be installed. We have to just cross check. Once it is done, then we have to create a folder which we want to share. So I'm creating with the name public, and it is on root partition. Then I will give full permission public, and then I have to define the share folder in a file, configuration file, exports. So here we define the folder which we are sharing in the insert mode slash public, that is shared with any IP address. Asterisk means it can be accessed from any IP address. If you want to specify the network ID, then you can define the network ID and slash 2432, whatever is the CIDR value. Read write mode, sync, then no underscore root underscore squash squash. Okay, so in read write mode, sync. If I have another folder, then in another line I have to write escape colon wq. Then we have to start the NFS service, systemctl start NFS minus server. Then with the space we can give multiple service which we want to start. If there is any error while defining in the exports file, then it will not start. We have permanently defined it. Now export fs space minus r a to activate v forward ports. So here we can see all the settings which is defined in that is exported. If there is any error, it will come. Now we are going to define SELinux set se bool minus capital P NFS export underscore all in read write mode, and this is applicable in enforcing mode. Okay. Then the next we have to restart the service. Restart the service. After that, we can check the status of the NFS service. System CTL status NFS minus server. It is active. Now firewall minus CMD hyphen add minus service equal to NFS 3 mount D RPC minus bind. Okay. So we have added multiple service through the firewall. Then the next is to reload the firewall. And if you want to check whether all the services are added or not, list minus all. Here we can see these services are not added with the firewall. Okay. Sorry, why it's not added? Because I have done one mistake. I have added it temporarily and reload hyphen permanent, and then I have to do the reload. Now it's added. Once it is done, then with the show mount space minus E, we can check what are the folders shared on this device. Show mount minus E. It will show for this device. But if I use as a client side, let us go to the client side. So let me just drag it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the client side, if we do here on the terminal, both should communicate with each other. So ping and connectivity should be there. Then only it will work. We have to use command show mount space minus e space IP address of the device from where it is shared. It is 12. We can see there is a share folder public. Now to access it, anything, whether it is a share folder, partition, we need to mount minus t type NFS and 192.168.180.12 the IP address colon slash share folder name. Where I want to mount on public, sorry, MNT, or if you create any folder accordingly. So only root can mount. So no problem. We'll log in with the root 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have used SU. So mount space minus T NFS 192.168.180.12 colon slash public on MNT. So now it's mounted. So if I'm going inside the MNT folder and copy anything or create anything, so and then when I'm going on the main machine, go inside the public folder, put ls, you see mango file is there. Okay, if I create one folder Nepal, go on the second machine and put here ls, you can see that folder is there. So it is used to share files or folder between Linux to Linux. So this is the work of NFS. I hope things are clear. Any confusion in NFS? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So tomorrow we are going to have the last class mostly, and if you have any type of queries related to this, you can make a note and list. We'll see tomorrow. If required, then one more class after tomorrow. Okay. Next class we will cover DHCP and Samba. One more thing we will see, send mail. Okay. After this, your course will complete as per the syllabus. If you have anything to discuss, just make a note and we'll discuss tomorrow. If required, then day after tomorrow we'll have class. Else tomorrow will be the last class for this.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Take care.